Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm FCA. If you want to see this fun glam look, I recorded it. I will link it below. I just wanted to do something in addition to Vlogmas while I have time off and some spare time to do it all. So let's talk about what the title of this video is, The Diddy Drama Return. So in our last update, which I will look up, I will link, for you guys later. And just so we know, I do not personally have a job or professionalism in the world of law. I am a legal enthusiast and have a passion about it. I have a degree in psychology and biology, which has nothing to do with that, but I'm just pointing out that I am educated in some way and I can read legal documents. I will link to Pacer and other places where you can get more of the Diddy stuff before, also linked in the other video for the catch-up. Just want to get that transparency out of the way. So Diddy went to court again, or has filed some motions again, and this continues. This was mentioned in the last one, but it is really a heavy hit topic for this main motion that has come up recently in the court system with Diddy, and that is him and his legal team need and want the Intercontinental Hotel video to be eradicated from the court system. If you somehow don't know what I'm talking about, I will also link to that below. It is a very abhorrent, hard to watch video where Sean Combs, aka P. Diddy, is seen brutalizing his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. She filed a lawsuit and it settled for 8 figures, and him and his legal team said that should be done. That should be the end of it. But the prosecution is coming against Diddy for multiple other things, not just assault and DV and SA charges, but also RICO, which is racketeering, basically, and just for coercion and all kinds of other stuff, witness intimidation, witness tampering. The list is pretty extensive. He has a long suit of civil lawsuits that he's contending with too. For this motion, they are really heavily, they being P. Diddy and his legal team, are trying to keep that Intercontinental Hotel video away from being evidence presented by the prosecution, because it is, quite frankly, just like smoke and gun, essentially. And in the 3 main things that they hit on, and of course in their document, they used a whole bunch of fancy legal jargon. I will put it in our digestible terms here for our other law enthusiasts. So their main 3 motions are: 1, the prosecution shouldn't have access to that video to begin with. 2, going hand in hand with that first one, is that it was basically fruit of the poisonous tree, which means it was illegally obtained, and them presenting it was in the course of trying to already ruin the jury pool, ruin Diddy's reputation before they even get to the courtroom. And 3, it was already settled previously and shouldn't be included for that reason. So the first one that we're going to hit on is that the prosecution shouldn't have had it to begin with. In short, Diddy's team and himself in the document essentially say, we paid to make this go away. He paid $100,000 in cash to various people at the hotel to make the security video go away, and he thought it would never see the light of day. And then that fateful, I believe it was Tuesday morning, when I think, I'm going to put the correct date in here if I say this wrong, going a million miles an hour. I was really excited. I have a lot of energy. Prosecution, which again goes along with point 2, they illegally obtained it. They did something wrong to get that video, and they had no right to give it to CNN to post it. They did it to ruin Diddy's reputation publicly, and they knew that this would be a public image ruining thing that came out, and it's to damage him even further before he goes to court, which ruins the jury pool. They shouldn't have even been able to get it out there. And 3, Ventura's thing was settled. They were like, that was about her. There's nobody else in that. Ventura herself had said that the video in question was that for this window of time, P. Diddy's security and other people weren't with them at the moment in that hotel room. It was just the 2 of them, and he was nodding off or falling asleep. He was not aware of her being, and she was using that as her chance to escape. But he woke up before she made it to the elevator. And in the video, if you don't want to see it, or already seen it and don't need a repeat of it, I'm going to be describing it. So, if you want to click away for a couple seconds, I understand. But you see him grabbing her by the hair, pulling her back, and slamming her to the floor. He also starts dragging her, kicking her, and stomping on her. And he knew that it was him. You can see him coming forward towards the camera is like face down. You can see his face coming up towards her. And there's a mirror against the back wall where you see him as well. And so he can't deny that it was him. He made an apology video about it. And his lawyers have been absolutely, they have been side legalizing against CNN, who released the video, to try to get them to tell their sources. Now, journalists, and news reporting rooms, papers and stuff, they have a protection under the First Amendment that they don't have to reveal their sources for safety, for connection reasons, and of course, getting information is a part of their livelihood and they have a right to protect that, etc. So even though CNN will not say where or how their direct source was to that video, that they insist, and this is what the prosecution argued against point one, is that they didn't have any coercion with the government about that video. They obtained it elsewhere, not from the prosecution. The counter argument that Diddy's lawyers presented to that was, no. It has to be from the government / prosecution, because if it was anybody else who was not legally connected to the case, they would have sold the video for money or made additional money off of it. They would not have just turned it over to CNN and let the world see it for free with no money affiliated. Let's take a moment. This is my opinion, speculation. We're outside of the legal motion documentation form here. Let us think about that for a second. Diddy did not, it doesn't occur to him. He can't even fathom that someone would want that video released for the sake of truth and justice. That doesn't occur to him. Altruism doesn't occur to him at all. He can't even think that someone would actually just want the truth, want him to be exposed, want to try to keep other people safe from him, to see who he really is and who he has been able to use money as a shield to hide behind for decades. They didn't want that. He's like, no, nobody does that. Everybody wants money. And what that really comes off as is I paid to make this go away. Every time I pay to make things go away, it goes away. This should have went away and it shouldn't have been exposed. And it is the main reason why he did not go to court, because he was going to. Before the video came out and Cassie was suing him, they were going to go to court. He vehemently denied doing it. I never did anything like that. I'm not down with that. And then the video came out and the settlement happened almost immediately. There's no jury after they see that video that's going to go, oh yeah, P. Diddy's innocent in this one. And so the settlement was made, and he said the video should have went away with it because there was nobody else in the video other than Ventura. He already settled that lawsuit, and since no one else is affiliated with it, and he already paid to make it go away once, that they shouldn't have to deal with it now. The prosecution's argument against that in legal terms was, we have a right to show this video because he is going to have character witnesses, and this is going to rebut his character witness. This is going to show, no, he has been known to be manipulative, conniving. Part of his racketeering is paying off witnesses, paying to help people go away to not be witnesses. And he is a truly brutal person who has no care for humans and their livelihoods. He doesn't care who he hurts. He wants what he wants. And this video is going to show that. So if based on the legal things that he has already presented, he's going to try to say, I had one bad incident, I was drunk, I was high on stuff, but I never did any of this other stuff to other people. But when you see the video, it's like, so those are the back and forth between the third motion. So then we have the fruit of the poisonous tree, which hits on number 2 a little bit more. Information that the prosecution could use against P. Diddy, if it was not obtained through legal means, then it cannot be presented as evidence. And the prosecution continues to stand by, and their counter argument is, we had nothing to do with the video. We didn't know it existed until it came out the same day everybody else found out. The counter argument that, well, they did present in their motion to the court was that they were using it as a strategy of the day that it came out, because it was a lull, it was a reprieve from the Trump trial when Trump's son Barron was graduating. So his trial was put on hold, and they used it as an opportune time to make sure that P. Diddy's hotel video was the main thing that everyone would be talking about, and it was strategically done on that day. Yes, so the conclusion, if you've made the conclusion of they're arguing that the prosecution's legal strategy was slow news day, that is what they have put forth to the court, that it was that. Now, maybe, and this is again opinion stuff, maybe CNN did that. They were like, oh, the Trump trial isn't going on, we need something else to like grab people's attention. Hey, we got sent this video of P. Diddy being really awful. This'll stir some viewership and put it out there. That might be so. But the prosecution stands very firmly that they are not connected or affiliated with the video. CNN is not going to acquiesce to the request of revealing their source, and that, okay, you paid someone or someone's $100,000 in cash to try to make this video go away, but someone else had a conscience. The prosecution also put forth a motion that they did not want, because of the previous thing of the witness intimidation stuff with the bail hearing and all that. They were like, Diddy should not have access to the internet, to multiple phone calls. He should only be able to be in interactions with his lawyers on a strict basis. The counter motion from Diddy's legal team was that they have a right to strategize and meet with their client as needed, and they have to work within the custody limitations that he is in, and trying to make things super strict is purposefully keeping him from having the zealous advocacy that he deserves. In trials, if a defense team is seen by the appellate court of not having proper access to evidence, if things were not revealed to them, we saw that in the Rust trial with Alec Baldwin. The whole trial got completely dismissed with prejudice, which means it cannot be tried again, because there was withheld evidence from the prosecution that the defense was not given, or adequate time given for a defense team to be with, meet with, and interact with their client. That is a way for a case to get overturned. Considering the hundreds, literal hundreds of potential witnesses and defendants in this case against P. Diddy, both criminally and civilly, getting the criminal trial overturned would be a catastrophe for everybody, because witnesses and people who were victims, who already are having to relive and bring themselves up and go through this, it's expensive for all of them. It's hard to redo a trial. It's expensive, it's daunting, exhausting, and nobody wants to do it. What Judge S, again, I can put his name here, I don't want to risk butchering, who has been transferred the case, he made the decision that P. Diddy was allowed to have normal visitation access 7 days a week. He gave the time frame of when he could meet with and be accepting of visitations of his lawyers. and that he was able to look at a laptop. One of the big things the defense brought up was the laptop to discuss evidence, because it's evidence against their client. Their client has a right to see what's being used against them so that they can create a defense against it. Absolutely certain to the court that it only has evidence on it. It's read only. It does not have an internet connection. It does not have any communication apps or capabilities on it. It is strictly with just pictures, documents, etc., that has been turned over so that he gets to examine and try to explain those things with his lawyers. So that was granted by the judge. He did not acquiesce to the request of turning down the video. Anything to do with it getting, the prosecution had anything to do with it getting released, and it can still be presented as evidence against you in the court. And the one last straw to go up against this, Diddy's lawyers tried to say, well, here's our evidence against that. There was also leakings and indications of grand jury investigations about that, and indictments. So because there was grand jury talk, which is usually kept under wraps, that was also leaked along with it. The prosecution's counter argument to this, the defense didn't cite anything. All they said was there were jury indictments leaked, but they didn't say what was leaked. They didn't present anything that showed any of that. They're just saying words that sound good. The court again agreed with the prosecution and overruled the motion. So it's denied the defense and granted to the prosecution to continue. And that is where we are with the Diddy drama so far. 2025 is going to be wild. And I still stand by what I said before. There is no shot that this trial takes place in May. Not a chance. Not a chance. They dragged out for 3 months of bail hearing. They dragged out trying to get the video repressed, or for 6 months trying to get the video repressed. So there is absolutely no, with this many witnesses that are, or defendants, I mean, not defendants, plaintiffs, that's the word. With so many plaintiffs in this case, there's no way this court case happens in the current thing of May. I don't think that if it happens, I will be shocked, and like I will eat a Brussels sprout. But yeah, I don't think so. So thank you for joining me, my fellow casual law enthusiasts and friends. I will see you all in the next video. Bye bye.